let's get into this Lions victory, because this was, I don't know if I said it on the stream, but this to me was the best Lions win of the season. And I don't want to seem like it's just recency bias. It was from top to bottom against a team that, look, are the Broncos amazing? Clearly not. But the Broncos are fighting for their season. It's not what we were playing. Like, when we played this kind of game against the Panthers, right? Early in the season, the Panthers were clearly not a good team, clearly in a rebuild mode, clearly trying to develop a new quarterback in Bryce Young. This is a team in the Denver Broncos that we're going into that game with the expectation that they can pull off a win. They had won, I think, 6 in a row or something, or not 6 in a row, 6 of their last 7, something like that. Like, they were red hot, and they were ready for us. We had come off of, an awful, awful week before, losing to the Bears, and we just come into this game, and we just pants Russell Wilson and Sean Payton and all them in front of everybody on national television, on the NFL Network. Anybody who was watching that game watched as the Denver Broncos were decimated on offense and on defense. So let's break it down, shall we? First point I want to talk about here. Goff played easily his best game of the season. 278 yards, 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 passing touchdowns for Goff. He had a quarterback rating of 76.2 on ESPN. Not a single interception. Was 24 for 34. Just 10 incompletions on the night for Jared Goff. He was hitting basically everybody. He hit Sam Laporta 3 times for 3 touchdowns. He hit Amon-Ra St. Brown for a touchdown. He hit Jahmyr Gibbs for a touchdown. I mean, he was hitting everybody. It was like every single guy he threw the ball to. Like, even Jamison Williams had 4 receptions for 47 yards. Like, everybody was getting the ball from Jared Goff. So the question then becomes, do you pay him? And this has sort of been a debate going on as the year goes. Now, again, the Lions have Goff until at least next year. So next year, he's still under contract. We don't have to pay him at least until the end of next season. Obviously, if he has a career year, which he seems to be having, if he wins the division, which is very possible, especially if we win on Sunday. I think certainly if we win on Sunday, we win the division, but you still have to play the games. And if he wins the division, if he wins a playoff game, it will be a home playoff game because you win the division. It's going to be pretty hard to say that this guy is not your quarterback for at least the next 5-6 years. I mean, look, I know that he's not going to get any younger. He's, I believe, 29 years old, so he's going to be entering into his 30s, and players tend to deteriorate and entering into their 30s. But, I mean, is this guy, showing signs of imminent regression? Not really. Certainly not with this O-line. He hasn't shown really any major concerns outside of the turnovers over the last couple of weeks here. But it's like, what guy are we going to get, I guess, is the more important question I should be asking, and asking of the people. What guy do we expect to get? And I think it's more him playing like this. Now, obviously, he's not going to throw 5 touchdowns every week, but him playing at a competent level, 200-plus passing yards, 250-plus passing yards, 2 to 3 touchdown throws, not turning the ball over at an alarming rate. I think that's the Jared Goff you're going to get, especially with a healthy O-line, which we had this week. As far as whether I think you should pay him, again, if and only if we win this division, we win the home playoff game, and or go on a playoff run, I mean, those are my criteria. So I'm not going to pay him by the end of the regular season. That's just not going to happen. I don't even know if those sorts of things can happen. I think they technically can happen at any point, but I'm not going to do that then. But I certainly will do it, if, we make it to the NFC Championship. Please, I'll absolutely do it if we win the Super Bowl. I mean, that's not even a question. If we win the Super Bowl, he's going to pay whatever he wants. Everybody on the roster is going to pay whatever they want. So, yeah, I think the more you look at it, the more you're like, you know what? This guy's got chemistry with our receivers. He's got a great O-line. He seems to like it here. He's got a great offensive coordinator. He's got a great head coach. He's got a GM who believes in him and will build around him and will add pieces to his weapon room in the form of guys like Sam Laporta, guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, guys like even Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown to go back a couple of drafts. Jared Goff is in an ideal situation with the Lions. And I think if you were to just pluck him and put him in Atlanta or put him in, pick a team, the Saints, the Raiders, he certainly would not have much success. He'd probably look a lot like how he looked in 2021, where he was just you didn't really know what you were going to get. He had a couple of receivers he had some decent chemistry with, but you just weren't all there. And no, I mean, like as time has gone, as he got a good OC, as he got more weapons, as his O-line continued to develop and get better, he has turned into the guy. And I think down the stretch here, again, if he can have that division win and playoff win and or playoff run, regardless of division win and all that, what have you, he's going to be the guy. And I think a lot of people are just going to have to deal with it. He's not going to run around like Lamar Jackson. He's not going to throw bombs like Patrick Mahomes, but he's going to win you a lot of games. I mean, this is the first time the Lions have won double digits since 2014. Like we're talking a decade ago at this point, of including Matthew Stafford with Calvin Johnson, including, Jim Caldwell. So this is somewhat unprecedented territory for Lions fans, at least unprecedented since a decade. But the other point I want to talk about this game was the defense. The defense was absolutely fantastic. You held Russell Wilson 18-32, 223 yards, and just one touchdown. Here are some team stats for you, okay? On third down, the Broncos were 5 for 13. That's less than half, folks, for those of you who don't know math. Less than half the time you were getting off the field or stopping them on third down. Now, granted, they were 2 for 2 on fourth down, but I think most of those were short yardage situations. As far as total yards, you gave up just 287. I mean, that I can live with. Time of possession, they had the ball for less than 30 minutes. In the first half alone, let me pull it up. Here are their possessions, okay? Fumble, punt, end of half. After that, it was touchdown, field goal, punt, touchdown, end of game. Now, you look at the second half and you're like, wow, that's a lot worse than, but look, that's 17 total points and a half, right? Like, at that point, the game was over because the offense was just cooking. And that's all you ask of the defense, is help the offense get the opportunity to put games away quickly. I mean, the game was 21-0 at the half. Now, Denver was going to get the ball back. So the game was not over at that point. And Denver, to their credit, stormed back in the second half and scored a touchdown, but the offense just did not let up. As far as top performance on this defense, I don't know if anybody expected this. Ifeatu Melifonwu, have a game, son. I mean, 9 total tackles, 6 of them solo. He had a sack. He had a couple of passes deflected. He knocked the ball out of that Russell Wilson hit that was the fumble recovered by Isaiah Buggs in the first possession. Melifonwu played like the starting safety, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not saying that you definitely got to keep him in, but hey, if this is the guy we're going to get, just put him in. Like, our defense looked way better with him playing the safety and with Aaron Glenn, like, actually getting creative and limiting, Russell Wilson's running ability. I don't think Russell Wilson ran for a single first down. And look, did Russell Wilson escape the pocket? Yeah, he does that. But Russell Wilson could not complete a pass for most of the first quarter. Like, our DBs were on their receivers, like White on Rice, knocking the balls out, getting hits immediately, tackling guys as soon as they catch the ball. They were forced to dunk and dime, especially given the fact that we went up 21-0. Like, it was to the point where the defense was able to take advantage of that desperation. And Aaron Glenn, to his credit, figured out that was what the offense was. The offense was in this weird situation where they were like, okay, we got to have a big play. We got to have a big play. And that put the pressure on them. And Aaron Glenn was bringing blitzes from everybody. I mean, you had Alex Anzalone, you had a TFL. You had Melanfanu. I just said he had the sack. You had Josh Pascal with a couple of TFLs on a sack. I mean, like, on top of the fact that you were already hitting the quarterback, I mean, 8 QB hits. Russell Wilson was not comfortable all night. And that's short of getting a bunch of sacks, getting a bunch of QB hits goes a long way, especially for a quarterback who has regressed since leaving his original team in Seattle. Like, it was, that first half was pretty much a masterclass. And I'm not even really that upset about the second half because, look, 17 points and a half, I'll take that. That's not, for one, that's not a lot. And secondly, you were up 21-0. Like even if you didn't score the rest of the game, you still would have won the game with that defensive performance. You could have not had the offense go on the field at all and just, cut off the time that they were on the field and so on. But just let the Bronco offense score the points they were going to score, and it wouldn't have mattered. That's how good the defense was this Saturday. And there was I think there was the one pass interference penalty on Alex Anzalone that wasn't good. But the thing about that play was Russell Wilson likes to do this where he'll just lob a ball up, basically just an arm punt. And it's like easily going to draw pass interference, right? Because ball's up in the air for far too long. DBs, linebackers, whoever you have against the guy in coverage is probably going to make some contact. And if a referee is feeling good or feeling not good, depending on your persuasion, he's going to throw the flag. So that was basically the only thing. And I think there was the long third and 12 that they gave up at the beginning of the second half that I wish they would have not given up. But look, I mean, like, you had guys who I'm like, who? Khalil Dorsey, the special teams return man, he was making plays. I mean, yeah, Jalen Reeves-Maybin had a couple of tackles. Isaiah Buggs, again, he was playing pretty well. You had Brian Branch knocking balls out of the air, getting to the quarterback. Kirby Joseph nearly had an interception. You had Jack Campbell, another solid 5-tackle game from him, one of them solo. Alex Anzalone continues to just be an absolute animal. The irony is, like, this was kind of an off day for Hutchinson. I mean, like, Hutchinson, he had just 4 tackles for three of them solo, to his credit. A lot of them are solo, but he didn't have a TFL, didn't have anything. But the rest of the defense got to it. And also to Hutchinson's credit, he deflected the ball and he hit the quarterback. Like, this defense, if this is the kind of defense we can expect going down the stretch, it's a very good chance this team goes undefeated for the rest of the season. Very, very good chance. And I hope that Josh Pascal, especially because he was a second-round pick the first year that Brad got here. He was here before Hutchinson, but he came in injured, and he has never really shown anything. But this was a Josh Pascal game. He had a couple of big tackles in the first half, including a sack. If we can get Josh Pascal to be that kind of player, game in and game out, and help out Aiden Hutchinson on this D-line, look, this defense can do a lot of good things. We'll just say that. Thirdly, Jameson Williams. I briefly talked about it. Jameson Williams had 4 catches for 48 yards or 47 yards. He had a long of an 18-yarder. He made some really nice catches. There was a few of those plays where, or at least one of them, where he had to climb the ladder and make the catch. And I got to say, I was a little surprised because, the thing about him that even Campbell pointed out is he really didn't have elite hands. He could have fooled me based on his performance on Saturday. He looked like he had elite hands, jumping up in the air, making a contested catch, and then a fantastic play on a 2nd and long, catching a short pass, and you think he's going to get pushed out of bounds, jukes the defender, picks up the first down. That's the kind of play that you want to see from a guy like Jameson Williams, where he's not just basically a deep ball threat. He's not just, whatever, we'll just chuck it deep and hope J-Mo can connect with it. No, it's like he can be utilized in short field situations. You can throw the ball to him in stride. He can be off to the races. And I really hope they continue to utilize him because he actually had a positive impact in this game. I mean, when you have the third most receiving yards on the team in a victory of 42 to 17. Hey, you made an impact. Like, he was the only thing he would have been short. He was short of was a touchdown. Like that's the only other thing I could have asked. And it was like The other thing that I've heard people point out, it wasn't just, trick plays. It wasn't just, chucking it deep. It was different situations where Goff was actually like, yeah, I'll throw it to this guy. And they're developing that trust. There's a few times that Goff missed him or he missed Goff. I don't know. Overthrow, underthrow. It's not exactly foolproof. Like, it's hard to tell sometimes, but it's still a positive sign of Jameson Williams' development, and the fact that the coaching staff, namely Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell, are trying to get him more involved in traditional wide receiver ways, right? Like, not just, running a motion, handoff, trick play, fun stuff. But with that, move on to my final point here about this game, and that is Sam Laporta is the next great tight end in this league. We're talking Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, George Kittle, Mark Andrews caliber good. This kid is unbelievable. He had 5 catches for 56 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't know how it seems like he's always able to get open. He's practically 100%. He was 5 for 6. He dropped 1 ball. Like he had 1 incompletion that was targeted to him, and I think it was an overthrown. I think it was like intentional. I don't even remember it. So that's usually a good sign. Sam Laporta is an absolute animal, and the fact that we were able to get this guy in the second round is just proof that you don't need to pay tight ends, like TJ Hawkinson, first round tight ends. You don't need to do that. Like, short of a, who's the guy out of Georgia? Brock Bowers-esque player. Short of someone like that, you can find high caliber, top 10, elite, whatever you want to call them, tight ends anywhere in the draft. Anywhere. And look, especially from the University of Iowa. I mean, you got Hawkinson, you got Kittle, and now you got Laporta. Like, we're talking, this is just tight end university. I mean, like, seriously, I don't know what they do at the University of Iowa to develop these tight ends to be pros, especially given the fact that Iowa's offense is always awful. Like, the fact that they had, at any given point, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, and Sam Laporta, at any given point in their time, and they have not even won a single Big Ten. Like that's, I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, you have arguably the best tight end in the conference seemingly every other year, and just don't do anything with it. I don't know. It's Iowa's problem, I guess. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.